Can you tell the difference between these two ears of corn? Probably not. Essentially they are the same, except that one has been genetically modified to be able to withstand herbicides, and the other was grown organically. Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about genetically modified foods, what they are, what their benefits are, and what possible risks they could pose. According to Monsanto's website, they say that biotechnology has been practiced for thousands of years, and they have done it by breeding crops and livestock. And genetically modifying foods is just taking that a step further, which is directly to DNA. Just think, what if you were to eat corn that contains a bacteria gene that allows it to fend off insects without the use of pesticides? Or potatoes that are disease resistant using a gene found on the skin of a tree frog? Or even rice that can grow in almost any climate, from arid regions to cold tundras. Well, chances are that you have. Genetically modified foods have been on the market for years now, but not a lot of people know about them due to the lack of labeling requirements. And let's see, KrugerPark.co.za has a very basic way of explaining how a gene is taken from one organism and becomes a part of another organism. Basically what they do is they find a trait within an organism and they look for the gene in the DNA strand, and they cut it out using enzyme scissors is what they call them. And once they have the gene that they're looking for, they give it to the plant in one of two ways. They can either shoot it into the plant using a specialized gene gun, or giving the gene to a soil bacterium that takes the gene and gives it to the plant, and thus becoming a part of the plant. And so with this, and finally what they do is they, once the plant is fully grown, they check to make sure it's developed correctly and is safe to eat. And with this technology, there are some pros and cons that come along with it. The population and average age of the world is ever increasing, and with that, there's an ever increasing demand for food. And at the same time, we're also trying to decrease our impact on the earth. An article on CSA.com says that genetically modified foods can help the world in several ways. And some of these ways are with the ability to be pest resistant. It will greatly reduce the amount of pesticides introduced into the environment. Another way is, if they are able to stave off diseases, the yield of a crop could increase, and the ability to supply food would be much greater. One other way is through the nutritional value. If they were able to, make them more nutritional. An example of this is found on GMOcompass.org in an article where they talk about increasing the amount of vitamin A within golden rice, and this can help to reduce the risk of eye disease, especially in third world countries where malnutrition is prevalent. Although there are a number of positives that come from genetically modified foods, we don't really know a lot about the long-term effects from them, and from this there's risks. There are a few issues that generally come up when dealing with GM foods, and the three most common ones are environmental risks. Things that could happen would be other organisms could be harmed unintentionally. Pests could become immune to the built-in pesticides within a plant, or genes could be transferred to another species and create a so-called superweed that would be immune to herbicides. Secondly, the health risks to humans. Since genetically modified foods haven't been on the market for an extended period of time, we don't know what will come from us consuming them. And in an interview with Dr. Arpad Pusai, he said that he was concerned with the significant changes in a rat's weight and digestive cycle that he had fed genetically modified potatoes to. And the third issue is the labeling of GM foods. There are no government regulations controlling whether or not the foods have to be labeled, since they are not considered significantly different from other foods. And a lot of people are against this. In closing, now that you know a little bit about GM foods, what their risks and benefits are, you'll be able to draw your own conclusion about them. Thank you.
Middle.